All right, after we've counted our valence electrons, we want to draw the skeletal structure where we place our atoms, and we want to do so correctly, obviously. I have some guidelines for you, but honestly, a lot of this is by feel and by experience. So the more that you do, the more experienced you'll be and the kind of more comfortable you'll be. When you can draw like multiple different shapes, go ahead, draw them multiple different ways, and then at the end, see which one is better. So just some guidelines. H is always terminal, which means that it's on the end of the molecules. It'll never be in the center of a molecule because hydrogen can only form one bond. We're going to put the less electronegative atom in the center. Remember our trend for electronegativity. It's that as you go towards this top right, you get more electronegative. So we want to stay away from being towards that top right. Remember that going up and down has a bigger effect than left to right. OH is a common motif. So an oxygen with two lone pairs, a bond to some other element, I'll just call that X, and then to a hydrogen. You'll see that a lot. Sometimes the formula gives you hints. And then don't get too crazy with shapes. Don't try to form like triangles or, these kind of weird bonding structures. We're going to focus on relatively simple molecules, and even complex molecules follow relatively simple rules. So anyways, let's go ahead. Carbon dioxide, ammonium, same ones we did last time, methanol, nitrate, sulfuric acid, and acetate. All right, so CO2, if we think about it, carbon is going to be the less electronegative, right? Oxygen is further to the right, carbon is further to the left, so the carbon is less electronegative. So that's what goes in the centers, and then we'll just put the oxygens around them, right? Keep it simple. After that, we have ammonium. Hydrogen always has to be terminal, so we're going to put the nitrogen in the center, and then just go ahead, surround it with 4 hydrogens. Methanol, this is another case where the equation is giving us a hint, right? CH3OH. Note how they didn't partner up this one H with all the other H's. They're trying to tell you that that H goes with that O. So we'll put that carbon there, surround it by 3 hydrogens because it's CH3 and the hydrogens have to be terminal. And then we'll put an O and an H, right? Because the formula is telling us to do so. And we also know that OH is a common motif. Next one, nitrite, or nitrate. The nitrogen, right, less electronegative, it goes in the center, and then let's just go ahead and surround it with the 3 oxygens. H2SO4, if you think about it, the oxygen is more electronegative than the sulfur, so the sulfur is what's going to go inside the middle. And here now it's a little bit tricky to know what to do. Again, you're probably going to have to try this a bunch of different times and then try it a bunch of different ways and see where you can get everything to have an octet and as low a formal charge as possible. It's just something that comes with practice. But we know sulfur goes in the middle, then we can go ahead, surround it with oxygens. And then we also know that OH is a common motif, so we can put the H's on the side, right? You might be thinking, well, why didn't you bond the H's right next to the sulfur? Because I know what the real structure looks like because I've practiced. So a lot of it just comes down to practice. Acetate, another part where it's trying to give us a hint. So put the carbon with its terminal 3 H's. Then we know it's bonded to another carbon. And then here's another part that just comes from experience, right? You might think that it goes OO, but it actually does not. Both of these oxygens are bound to this carbon. If you want to put it as OO, go ahead, follow along with this video. Or maybe we'll just go ahead and do it. Yeah, we can just go ahead and do it. So we'll also draw this skeletal structure. And then we'll discover why it's going to be wrong. Overall, this is probably the trickiest step and the one that relies on experience the most.